Hi guys. Hello. Just wait for a couple others to join and then I'll let you guys know what's going on with Elena. Hey. Super exciting news going on. I'll tell you where Elena's at in just a second. It's a secret. Hey. All right, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and introduce myself. The Rock is in the building. So great to be with you guys today. It's great to be in the office. Can you guys hear me okay? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Hey Monica. Hey Brad. Good, okay. Great, getting thumbs up. That means you guys can hear me. Wonderful. So we are live at 10X headquarters. My name is Rach. I'm Elena Cardone's executive assistant. We're super happy to be in the office. It feels great. Johnny's here and Elena's live right now. Oh, Annie. So Elena's live right now. She's doing a show. It's called The London Reel. She's interviewing with Brian Rose. She is gonna spit some knowledge on COVID-19 and how to cope with it and just share her wisdom and message with the entire world. Once again, my name is Rach. I'm gonna take you guys in the studio so you guys can get a real behind the scenes look at what goes on. It's really amazing. So you guys ready? Let me flip this. So you can see the interview. It'll be pre-recorded here, but you'll get to watch her do it live, and then it'll be sent the link, and then she'll be able to share all the footage, okay? Here's our studio, super cool, behind the scenes, and you'll be able to see a little bit. She's right there. Super cool. There's Johnny. Super cool. All right, guys, here we go. Just be quiet. Shh. Make sure the mic's on.
Stupidest idea ever. Stupidest idea ever. I don't know the key to all of that. One real before a crazy dude talking on webcams, who was basically on the floor for 3 or 4 years. I always lovingly joke to her in a very loving way.
Where's the key?
She is my down every key file. It's not sure, but she knows what that means because it just means she's always there for me. So tell me, how have you been processing the last few weeks of events? When did you realize that this was going to be a big deal and that it was time for you to start taking kind of drastic action?
You guys can't see.
Immediate. That's how serious I took it. The very next day, Friday, we alerted people, hey, just be prepared, whatever, this is going to happen. I looked like an idiot because it didn't happen. I thought the announcement was going to happen on that Thursday. I thought for sure it was going to happen after the stock market closed on Friday. Then I thought, oh, it's going to happen on Saturday. They're going to reveal this. So then I'm like embarrassed. And so now I'm thinking, oh gosh, the people that I alerted to be prepared for the next 2 weeks, they're going to think Elena's doing one of her conspiracy. I always get attacked for being over-prepared. That's another conversation. So I felt embarrassed, but by Wednesday, in fact, what I had discussed had actually started to be implemented. So we took it very seriously. On that Friday, Grant and I had a meeting with the executives in our company and said, hey, what do you think about this and that? Again, based on what happened in 2008, we had to make some really tough decisions. We were like, who just got hired recently in January, who we haven't even trained up now, and now we're supposed to train them remotely? Like, those people have to look at who has to be eliminated right now, because we have to economize and we have to protect the organization and the people that are going to stay with the company, who wasn't fulfilling their roles within the company, who can we let go? And the executives in the company, rightfully so, this is before it's even been announced there's going to be a shutdown. So seriously, we took it. They were like, you're blowing this thing out of proportion. And, of course, again, I felt ridiculous, like Elena's in panic mode again. But based on that was, okay, so that's Friday. Now on a Monday, Grant's like, okay, here's the order. We're doing this whether you like it or not. So now the executives are confronted with that. And sure enough, we had to make a really painful decision to lay off. I think it was, I don't have the exact number, but in one location at Cardone Enterprises, I think we had 180 employees, and I think we had to eliminate 50. Don't quote me on the numbers. I don't know exactly. I don't run that part of the business. I could find out though. But it was a big number, and that devastated Grant to make that call, to make that decision. Our vision as a company and as an organization is to employ thousands of people. That's how big we want to go. So in having to lay people off, we did lay them off. We did pay them severance pay through the month. They can now collect unemployment, whatnot. We tried to do everything as ethically as possible, but it made Grant especially sick to his stomach. Like literally, I thought he was going to vomit because he's having to now contract. You said it in the beginning of the show, the 10X Growthcon, we had just come off of this ginormous win. We want to expand. Nobody wants a sucker punch like this. Having to shrink or economize was not something that was on our vision board. But in order to prepare for the worst, and I am a firm believer in preparing for the worst. It's not so much of a panic technique, but it's if you are prepared and you can actually confront evil and you can actually confront worst case scenario, then you're able to take actions in present time and come up with a vision or a plan. What is a vision? A vision is a plan for the future based on imagination and wisdom. So I'm the visionary. I'm a visionary in our relationship. I know how to plan for the future. So we had to make really tough decisions despite, the backlash that we received. I think there's people out there who actually think that wealthy people enjoy having to ask people to work for maybe less than their salary or to lay people off. I think there's actually people out there that make a case for people like us who have worked our entire lives, who not came from nothing but came from small beginnings, who have worked their entire lives to be in a position where they can provide opportunities for staff to take care of their families and give opportunities, and then go out and amass to our risk of loss, which is what an entrepreneur is. They risk their own money in hopes that they can then get a reward at the end. So we have 8,000 units. I have 8,000 families and properties and people that depend on us. So yes, I have to prepare on how can I take care of these people and continue to provide the shelter, protection, security, a good working facility in all 8,000 units when the economy is going to take a hit. We've taken a hit. So in spite of all of that, we took it very seriously. We did a lot of things to implement and how to protect ourselves, including we put boots on the ground at every single one of our properties and talked to all of our tenants, explained what could happen, what we're planning on doing, getting people involved. We're holding private meetings with our investors, explaining exactly what we're doing, how we're doing it. We're continuing to hold remote meetings for Cardone Enterprises every single morning at 9 a.m. where everyone knows exactly the vision of the company, what we're doing, where we're going, and hearing successes. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that we're doing and that we're prepared for, and we are taking this very seriously, and no one's escaped. Everyone's gonna feel a hit from this, no matter who you are, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. When you sit down as a family and speak to your daughters, I mean, they're getting older now, obviously they're a big part of the Growthcon and stuff. What is that family conversation like? Or is it not what I would expect? Are they actually, I mean, sometimes kids are more resilient than parents in these ones, you know?
Well, we held family meetings, and so they obviously know what's going on. I try to limit the amount of adult problems that are presented and placed on a child's plate. So I've implemented in our house no news in front of the kids, but they understand. So the family meetings look like this. I had to get really creative and find ways to keep them busy and occupied, and find ways on how they could become Team Cardone and how we can fortify as a family. So I've discussed what needs to be done around the house and who's going to take charge of what roles. So we have entertainment hour at our house, which is at around 8 o'clock. The kids present shows. We do show and tell. We write our to-do lists every single day, and we check off and we announce in front of each other what we've all done and accomplished. And whoever you can, at the end of this, every member gets to vote on who they think that should win, but you can't vote on yourself. And whoever wins gets ice cream after dinner the next day. But I've given jobs, like who's going to be in charge of giving Papa, making sure Papa has his water, because you know I want him hydrated. Who's going to be in charge of cleaning handles in our house? Like, am I a clean freak? Am I scared about this? No. But I want to put the kids in charge of Corona and have them contribute to, this is my contribution and how I can end this thing by keeping the handles clean and sanitized in our house. So I put them on jobs that get them all feeling and thinking that they're contributing and helping to get through this. So they're working, so they're not just sitting back absorbing their TV or internet content all day long. So everyone's been assigned roles that they've agreed on within the household, and that's just one thing that we do, and that's what family meetings look like. What sacrifices do you need to make so we can all kind of get ahead as a family right now?
Okay. Now you mentioned his job is to hydrate Papa. Whose job is it to deal with, you know, Papa's emotional swings? Because both you and him are probably processing this different. And Grant said when he was on with me on Friday how when he sometimes gets news like this, it takes him sometimes 48, 72 hours to absorb it and then come back as kind of the superhero. How do you maintain that role as a partner to him? Because I bet a lot of people watching and listening are dealing with the same things with their own partners, where some days they're the superhero, some days they're retreating, you know, because everyone's on different cycles and there's masculine energy, feminine energy. How is that to manage Grant and your own self?
Well, first of all, you know, Grant and I probably could be better, but I think we're pretty good about not exhibiting that behavior in front of kids. That's adult problems that I don't want on their plate. I think it's very detrimental to let children see conflicts either between husband and wife or family trauma or upsets. That's just my belief. I think that they should be feeling secure and stable, and that's not something they should worry about, instability within the household. So let's take that out of the equation, because we try not to do that in front of them. How I deal with the emotional tension and stress that he and I are experiencing is, I know that I have conversations with myself all the time. I know that we're experiencing difficulties right now. And so I understand that I have to look at certain sacrifices right now. I understand that I'm not going to have romantic time. I mean, not like intimacy bedtime. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about romantic time where his attention isn't going to be on trying to have to give me attention right now and feeding that side of the relationship. Now, some people might not like to hear that right now, and that's okay. You just asked me what I am doing and how I am getting through being with Grant right now. So I understand that I need his attention on protecting financially the empire of not only ourselves, but our community, our investors, and on the other side of this. I also realize with that is I have to make a conscious decision, which goes to my word power that I love so much. What is power? Power is the ability or capacity to influence the behavior of others. And I consider that I am a powerful person. Nowhere in the dictionary does power say you have to run a company. Nowhere does it say you have to have a certain amount of wealth. The definition of power that I'm applying here is the capacity or the ability to influence the behavior of others. So myself as a strong woman and as a wife and someone dedicated to that role, which is not always easy, but that comes with a conscious decision that when he is going through these moments, to not take it personally, in spite of how sensitive I am, to not take it personally and to make a decision to be kind, to, again, I'm probably going to experience heat from this because I should stand up for myself, but I am not a subservient woman. Everything I do comes analytically and with choice. But it also means that I must keep my mouth shut at times, because I don't think it's beneficial to us as a unit to have him attack me and me under my stress turn around and attack him. I know from 2008 that in order for us to be better, stronger, and more unstoppable on the other side of this, that we need to fortify more than ever. And so I understand that is my role. That's what I decided to do and contribute to this relationship. And if it means I have to be the bigger person at the time to get us through this, I'm willing to do that. I'm equipped. It happens to be one of my strengths. I'm a visionary. A visionary, again, a person who can plan for the future based on imagination and wisdom. Because I am a visionary, I have a vision of what I want to look like on the other side of this, what I want us to look like on the other side of this, what I want our company and who we represent and our brand to look like on the other side of this. And I do have a plan. And so when I have my vision and I can focus and see that, it makes it easier to, when I'm perceiving that I'm being attacked by my mate, my partner, my lover, the person I've spent 16 years building an empire with, when I perceive that attack, see, I'm armed, I'm prepared. I have a vision. I shouldn't show you my horrible nails. My girlfriend said, don't show your nails. But because I have a vision to focus on and keep sight of, I don't then have to attack my partner, because I am a big enough person to rise to the occasion and to be able to get us through and hold a vision of what we look like. So if I'm, again, going for the Super Bowl, which is what I am going to do when we get on the other side of this, I want to win that Super Bowl ring. And if you're going for the Super Bowl and you're a real player in the real game of life, you don't attack your teammates because you perceive that it was their fault that they fumbled the ball in game 3. I can't afford the luxury and the lifetime to be getting distracted from my vision, now fighting with him over something stupid about game 3 when I got game 4, game 5, where I got to go all the way and win the Super Bowl. It doesn't matter who fumbled the ball. Maybe he perceives I didn't throw the pass correctly. Does it matter whose fault it is? What matters is that you win the Super Bowl ring. Because when you win the Super Bowl ring, my metaphor, you don't even remember game 3. I can't even remember half of the fights and arguments we have. Or irrelevant arguments.
Well, build an empire is really about discipline. When you talk about in that book, I think people don't understand that. And so you're focusing on this long-term vision, and you're foregoing these short-term reactions. And that's why you are playing for the Super Bowl. And most people don't understand that concept. So like you said, they get caught up in the bickering with the short-term quote-unquote wins, which aren't a win anyway because it's your teammate, like you said. And so you have to like take big, deep breaths, I'm guessing. Kind of like Grant is doing from a business perspective as well, and say, okay, how can I make these good long-term decisions? And that's difficult, right? That takes a lot of discipline.
It takes a lot of discipline. I've been practicing discipline for many years, since 2008 actually. But I practice discipline. I'm not one that just wakes up motivated. I'm not, nothing's ever come easy for me. Like I can't just be motivated. I have to practice discipline when I have no motivation. And so, I wake up you said, what do? I wake up every morning at 6 a.m. I'm writing a new book. So from 6 to 7, I'm focusing on my new book. I'm hanging out with Scarlett. I'm doing work, podcasts, whatever. I'm keeping myself relevant. I'm trying to find ways to expand, to help other people, to align myself with good allegiances right now. And I take a walk every single day. Minimum 6 miles. The most we do is 10 miles. And I brisk walk every single day because, I'm a very hyper person. I don't like to be confined to spaces. I like action. I like movement. So, I have to walk every single day, and I put my attention on my environment. I look at trees. I look at the different color leaves. I look at the ground. I look at different shades of paint in the cars that drive by, because I want my attention out of my head when I'm doing this walk. I need to get my attention out of my head and put it out on the physical universe. And that also helps me not be so stressed out. The physical release of being able to have an activity is good. And also, I'm a big observer in life. I observe things. I've trained myself to observe, not listen to what I'm told. I can't listen to what I'm told because I know my strengths and my weaknesses. I know that one of my biggest weaknesses is that I'm a bit naive. I know that I have a weak spot. I want to help people, and not that I'm so good or Mother Teresa, but I just know myself. I have a big heart. I want to help people, and I have been weak in that area before, and it's cost me for not paying attention. So when I'm doing this every single day, it might seem like nothing. Oh, she's just going on a walk, or she wants to keep working and keep fit. But I also pay attention of the environment because it keeps my observation skills sharp.
Okay. You once told me that Grant is a beast, which is great when he's out creating an empire, but you have to make sure the beast doesn't come back to you. Is that happening now too? Or is that always a dance you have to do when you're in a high performance relationship building something epic?
Yeah, the beast has. I haven't answered that question. It is something I deal with a lot. He's a great guy. He's just very intense sometimes. The great thing about him is he has an ability also to be mercurial. Like he's able to change rapidly through emotion. So he might be really intense one moment and be able to flip and be with the kids and toss them on a couch and have fun the next minute and then switch to serious. So for me, it's just about knowing what I'm dealing with, know the type of man I'm with, and know that if I use my power correctly, my ability to influence the behavior of others, in this case, my husband, if I can be creative with my ways of engaging with him, I can either diffuse the situation, I can inspire him, I can just choose. I don't react. I try not to react. I try to develop an arsenal of tools with which I can deal with him as well as the rest of the world. So I have actually in the past looked at ways I've dealt with him that have not served me well, or us well, or the intention well. And I've actually written a list of, well, what are and they don't have to be the right answer or the perfect answer. It just gets me creatively looking at other options I have other than reacting with anger. So I've written a list down several times of how could I have responded. I could have laughed. I could have said, you're right. I could have said, you're so cute. You're so handsome. Hey, this one I love. And I learned it from Ryan Secco, and I've stolen it, and I use it all the time. So any couples out there, feel free to steal this. But Ryan Secco said to me, or I heard him say this to Grant once, hey, I'm on your side. I'm on your side. I'm on your side, champ. Here, I'm here to help. So when the attack comes, I've done that. Hey, I'm on your team. If there's something I need to do to improve, I'm on your team. I'm not a repeat offender. Let's find a way how I can be on board. I've written a list, what else could I do? I could turn around and moon them. I mean, I don't know if I'm really going to do that, but it might be silly. It might get them to laugh. It might, you know what I'm saying? So people need to arm themselves not only with their spouses, but in life on other ways to respond to things rather than a reaction. But if you can start actually being clever enough to start influencing the people around you to fulfill your vision of how things should be, then you will be able to experience what real power is more, and you'll have more of it.
Yeah. How do you know when to give him a hug and when to say, go get your butt out there and get us a solution? Because I know you said that to him in 08 at one point, but is this all part of the process of knowing when to say what?
You know, it goes on a feeling, and I read, observe, I read indicators. So sometimes if I perceive maybe he's going down the pity party or sympathy or sees no out, and I know Grant and I know what he responds to, that will be the time I will not give him sympathy. I am not going to give him sympathy. This is a perfectly able, capable man who is a leader to the world. I'm going to let him sit in sympathy for 1 second to let a man like that think he's anything less than extraordinary? I won't do it. He ain't getting sympathy from me. That is a time where I will crack him and say, go handle yourself and figure out a solution, because he responds to that. He's a beast. He's an animal. He likes a mission. He doesn't like being in that place. But if he needs a hug, where it's not sympathy, it's compassion, because I don't do sympathy. I never will do sympathy. I won't even do sympathy with my children. I feel it's very victim aspect. But I do have compassion. I have a very big compassionate heart. And, if the man needs a hug where he has felt beat up and misunderstood or misduplicated, or there are people out there trying to tarnish and degrade our name, his reputation, what he is doing, how much he does for other people. And if he, I can see that he is hurt, because like any animal, beast, like anything on the planet that has feelings, it hurts to get beat up on. And sometimes you just need to hug it out with somebody. If I'm the corner guy, give him a hug, sit him down, clean up the busted eyebrow, put the ice on the swelling, whatever. I'm not a corner guy. I'm trying to use these analogies. But then you need to say, hey, you know what you got to do? You got to duck. You got to, hit them with the left, figure out how to get on the other side of this so you're back in control, to where you feel like you don't have to just suck it up and be effective all the incoming, SHIT that comes at you. So that's kind of what I do. I read his indicators and decipher what needs to come at him to make him be the best person he can be.
So as you touched female energy in a relationship that, quite honestly, I don't think us men will ever understand.
I agree with you. I'm interrupting. I want to agree with you. I love that you say that. I almost want to repeat it for you. I really don't think men will understand, but you know what? When you guys appreciate us and you tell us that you appreciate us and you acknowledge us, and Grant does a very good job of that. He acknowledges me on public platforms, and that really does go a long way with everything that we as women do for the relationship. Just being powerful, strong women, willing to own that responsibility and all that they do in life. So continue with your question. Thank you so much for that. And I just wanted to say to all the men out there that truly love and protect women and children, not because we're weak, but because you understand the value of what we have to offer for society, I seriously salute you, I bow to you, and I thank you. So continue.
No, I appreciate that. And again, it's in your book, Build an Empire. There's a lot of subtleties here that I think anyone can learn from. And I'm saying female energy, but look, I think there's men out there that have female energy and there's females that have male energy. So anybody can learn from this. But it's subtle. And again, my wife is amazing at it. And if a woman does it right, you don't know she's doing it. You know, that's the beauty of it. And so again, giving you more props, Elena, because you do it in an amazing way. And you really document it in your book as well. And it's subtle. And it takes a lot of discipline, and it takes holding your temper, and it takes breathing, it takes vision, and it takes sometimes making the man think he's doing it all, right? Let's be honest. So, and that's what makes a great relationship. I'm glad, like, finally someone gives me credit. So, so that's beautiful. And look, one of the reasons I wanted you on the show is because, as I told Grant last week, when this crisis hit, I thought of you two immediately, because I remember, I think it was the 10X Rule, wrote the book that Grant wrote in the 08 crisis, when he came out and said Lehman Brothers crashed, and you said, how does this affect us? What are we going to do? And he went into his office in the house in the hills, I think, and wrote the book, That or Sell to Be Sold, I don't know which one it was. And that was his solution, but it was you saying, we got to do something, what are you going to do? And it was that reaction, and you guys have been through this crisis, and he always says, expand when other people's contract. So that was my motto right when this happened. I told it to everyone around me and to my team, and I tell it to myself every day. That's what we've been doing every single day. I've been broadcasting basically every single day through this, and thinking of the expansion. Maybe you can take me back to that moment in 08 and tell us kind of what happened there, and am I getting that story right?
Yeah, you pretty much duplicated the story right. It was 2008. I was pregnant with our first child. Grant was watching, we were watching Lehman collapse in our beautiful home in Hollywood Hills, and he turns ash white. And you know, Grant, you know, everybody knows swaggy Grant, you know, I call him a little pit bull. I looked over and he's ash white. It terrified me. I've never seen him be vulnerable or scared to that degree before. And so I asked him, what does this mean? And he said, it means we're gonna die. And people laugh when I tell that story, but it was not funny to me. And, you know, when he first met me, he said, and it was the cheesiest line of all time, but he said, you know, when people hang out with me, their lives tend to improve. And, you know, I thought it was so cheesy at the time. And then 13 months later, I returned his phone call. But so he said, we're going to die, and that, you know, ignited me. I was like,
Hey guys, it's Rach again. I'm Elena Cardone's executive assistant. I hope you guys enjoyed that live and behind the scenes with London Real Brian Rose. It's going to be pre-recorded, but you guys got to see the behind the scenes of it, and then we'll go ahead and send out that link, hey, so that you guys can watch, okay? But don't forget today's Wednesday, and what does Wednesday mean? It's all about the 10X ladies. We are going live tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We can't wait to connect with all of you. This is Elena's favorite day. Also, stay tuned for the G&E show. This is going to be amazing. See you guys later, okay? Be sure to tune in at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 10X ladies. Woo! Let's go, Bobby. You guys have an amazing day. And